a big issue in the United
Well,
States.
racism's always going to be a big issue anywhere. You can't have two different races or three races. You can't have this many people living on one continent with this many different religions, this many different cultures without one trying to step on the other. I mean, that's just common sense.
But you could argue that the Klan is contributing to the problem, no?
No, the Klan ain't contributing to the problem. You can just sit back and let the blacks do their own job. I mean, let them keep killing each other in record numbers. We ain't got to, the Klan ain't got to go out and kill blacks no more. We just drop off some liquor in their town and some guns, and they do it themselves. If it was my option every weekend, I would go up to Chicago with a big truck full of whiskey and crack, marijuana, and a ton of guns and bullets and tell them have at it and just drop it off right in the middle of town. And then go home and watch my Monday morning news and laugh the whole time.
What's the most important thing you've learned in your life?
To never turn my back on God. He'll always.
Shalom. First off, I want to give all honors, all glory, and all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, and to all you Akim priests in his word for the edification of the body. I pray that the Lord bestows upon you a spirit of mercy and faith as we enter into the last days of Babylon the Great. This is the brother Halal from the Great Millstone Chicago camp. And this lesson will be a response to this video that you just heard play in the beginning, in which you have a Triple K member. That's what I'm gonna call it, a Triple K member, basically explaining and going into great detail on how people in his group, that are clicked up in the Triple K organization, they don't even have to go through our communities and kill us anymore. He explained that all they have to do is drop off liquor and guns, make sure it's a liquor store on every corner, and we know that the CIA and three-letter organizations have dropped off drugs and guns in the so-called black communities in the past. But he said that if it was up to him, he would go up to Chicago every weekend and drop off liquor and guns and watch us kill each other off and laugh while watching the Monday morning news, man. And then he proceeded to say, when the man asked him, what's one thing that you've learned? And he said, I'll never turn my back on God. So that just shows you, man. But when you look at this so-called black culture, you look at the conduct of our people that live in these urban areas and how they carry themselves, you can't really tell this man that he's wrong, because he's not. On one half, he's actually right. We are indeed doing this, man. Well, not us, the men of Great Millstone, but the wicked of our people. They're doing the Triple K organization's job for them, man. And this ultimately goes back to the curses. So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 in verse 50. Let's see. Yeah, verse 54, it says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So this is ultimately one of the curses, that was written to befall us if we disobeyed the laws, statutes, and commandments and regulations of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And we did fall away, pursuant to the book of Daniel chapter 19 and verse, Daniel chapter 9 and verse 11, when it said that we all fell away from our Father by departing from the laws and statutes that he gave unto us. These curses had befallen us. And all of our enemies round about are laughing at our misery. They look at the things that we go through as mere comedy to them, man. He said that he watches the Monday morning news because every weekend there's a shooting going on, especially in big metropolitan cities like Chicago, Detroit, LA, New York City, Atlanta, and the usual. So these people, man, they look down upon us, man, because of the state that we have fallen to, and they laugh at our misery. You know, let's go to the book of Hosea, chapter 4, and verse 1, and it says, "Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land." And, you know, although, you know, our people, the wicked of our people, these YNs out here, they're going to be held accountable for what they've done, for the blood that they've shed, because these were the same, because our people, they killed the prophets, man. And ultimately, they were the ones that offered up Yahweh Shai to be crucified on that cross, and to be beaten, whipped, and tortured, and a crown of thorns placed upon his head. So our people are going to be held accountable, man. And eventually Esau Edom will be held accountable for what he's done to us. Verse 2, by swearing and lying and murdering and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood. And this is what you see happening in ghettos and urban areas across America. You see nothing but what? Lying, stealing, murdering, and adultery. And that's what's pushed in the music as well. You know, on these hip-hop radio stations. Murder, adultery, sleeping with another man's woman. All you hear is this rapper constantly talking about how he wants to take your woman from you and fornicate with her. These are the things that are promoted among what you would call black culture. And the word black itself, you know, in which I did a lesson on this, I believe, a week ago, but the original meaning of the word black means what? Evil, void of light. And this man referred to us as blacks. So this man referred to us as being evil and void of light. But in the NLT, verse 2, it says, you make vows and you break them. You kill and steal, commit adultery. There's violence everywhere, one murder after another. And that's what you see out here, one murder after another. All these rappers getting shot dead. You know, going back to their hoods and all that, and instead of trying to get away from it, like they always talk about in their lyrics. This is what we go through on a daily basis, and only Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai can deliver us from that. And the enemy, he has contributed to our suffering, man, by dropping off liquor and guns in our communities to further have Jake, you know, going to a degenerate mindset. There's the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. And it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And it's very difficult to clean rust out of iron skillet, but it's easy for rust to grow on the iron skillet. So it's figuratively comparing this man's wickedness to rust that grows on the iron skillet. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Verse 12, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So we can't even set this man by us, man, because he's going to ultimately find a way to contribute to our destruction and push forth degenerate behavior to the younger generations, you know, that are what's the word, impressionable, you know, that are easily influenced by outside factors around them in their environment. That's why you can never trust thine enemy. You know, but let's go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 1, and I'll start at verse 20. And it says, Lamentations chapter 1 and verse 20, it says, behold, O Lord, for I am in distress. My bowels are trembled. My heart is turned within me. For I have grievously rebelled abroad. The sword bereaveth, at home there is death. And that's the case for the majority of our people. You know, they're distressed. They live in terrible conditions. in the ghettos and impoverished areas, because ultimately, hey, we rebelled against the law, statutes, and commandments that the Heavenly Father set up for us to observe. Verse 21, they have heard that I sigh, there is none to comfort me. All mine enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it. That will bring the day that thou hast called, and they will be like unto me. So the enemies, man, our enemies, beginning with Esau, Edom, which this man descends from the line of Edom. He is an Edomite. I believe that through the Spirit. They laugh at our misery, man. You know, let me play back that portion of the video when he said he's laughing at us killing each other off.
If it was my option every weekend, I would go up to Chicago with a big truck full of whiskey and crack, marijuana, and a ton of guns and bullets and tell them have at it and just drop it off right in the middle of town. And then go home and watch my Monday morning news and laugh the whole time.
So he said that if it was up to him, he would drop off liquor and guns in our community and laugh while watching the Monday morning news, you know, where mass shootings happen, man, and laugh at our misery. So I want to end this off with the book of Baruch, chapter 4, and verse 23. It says, and this is what the Lord ultimately has done to us. But eventually our lowly position will be changed, man, beginning with the elect. Verse 23, for I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but the Most High will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they shortly see your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness and everlasting. And the neighbors of Zion ultimately represent the heathen nations, you know, the people that look down upon us. Let me read it again. It says, like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they shortly see your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory, brightness of the everlasting. Verse 25, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High. For thine enemy have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and thou shalt tread upon his neck. So ultimately, we're in a lowly position right now because of us disobeying the Heavenly Father. And the neighbors of us, you know, these heathen nations, and chiefly Esau, Edom, they laugh at us. But eventually, hey, we're going to tread upon their necks, man. Beginning with the elect, you know, those that actually repented to Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai and turned from our wicked ways. And the wicked of our people, those that continuously push that image, despite all the things that are going on, they're going to have to die on this side. But the elect are going to be sanctified and tread upon the necks of their enemies, man. You know, so I hope this lesson was edifying, and I want to give all honor, all glory, and praises, and all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, Ba'Shem Kakwadash, Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abba Babal.